Indie Comics Podcast.
Salamat sa pagpunta sa ating mga attendees at mga guests. Sobrang linis at sobrang susalamat sa time and effort. So, I guess magtutuwa na, simulan na natin yung roundtable discussion. Ang ating mga roundtable speakers ay sina Bernie Mercado, siya yung managing editor ng Aris sa Mukhambe ng FedLab. Ang sunod ay si Bella Franco, dati comics fan pa rin siya. Tapos isa na rin siyang exhibitor sa mga art markets. Tapos ang binebenta niya ay mga comics ng mga local comics creators. Ang sunod po ay si John Zamar, isa sa mga organizers na Comic-Con. Tsaka comic creator rin, isa ang mga works niya yung Big Bang Solid Lying, Matang Lawin, at sobrang dami pa. Tapos, si Doc Nelson, isa sa mga local creators rin natin, ang mga gawa niya, Miss Universe, saka yung ang laptop, saka madami. Tapos, and last but not the least, my favorite boy in the world, si Josel Nicolas, isang very prolific na comics creator rin. Ang mga gawa niya yung Windmills, Hiwaga, madami pa, saka Dylan Juan. Tapos,
roleplay kanya din.
Roleplay, yung pinaka-worst na comics na nabasa ko dati.
Panalo yan, panalo.
Tapos, i-preview niya yung kanyang bagong comics, Pato World. So, abangan yun mamaya. Palakpak! So, if okay na po tayo, pwede na natin simulan.
Isa na natin. Ako nga pala si Jason. Lagi ako nandito. So, kumusta comics sa point of view ng creators? Josel, kumusta comics?
Ganda, saya. Saya. Paano perspective? Kasi
from a creator's perspective.
Ako, lifer ako. Hindi talaga ako titigil ng pag-comics. So, okay naman, gagawa ko ng masaya. Pero as far as money return, hindi naman ganun din. Pero I think yung sinabi nga ni Jan sa isang stream na it's more for you at the end of the day yung pag-create ganun. Kasi ako personally, sobrang saya ko mag-drawing ng comics. Yun yung favorite part ko ng trust. Pag-drawing, pag-collab, sakto lang ganun. Pero pag nag-publish na, pag nag-self-publish na, as in literal, I think, for a time, hindi ako talaga nagko-convention kasi nagkakapanik at ako. Pag nagbebenta ako, ganun.
Bakit?
Parang nahihirapan lang ako sa expectation na, shit, kailangan kong ma-recoup back yung investment ko, or like, ayun na naman, may isa naman taong uusapin ako ng 30 minutes tungkol sa isang sine na hindi ko napanood, tapos parang harangan yung table ko, tapos iikot. Sabi ko, pwede ko pa naman umikot. Tapos ang good ginawa niya, nag-turn around siya sa pwesto kung nasan siya, tapos kinausap pa niya ako ng matagal. Wala lang hindi nakabenta. Yung mga ganun, nagkukumpul-kumpul lang. After like, I think 17 years of selling din.
Parang kumbaga unwanted attention. 17 years ka na palang nagko-comics. Ano yung una mong work?
Ano nga ba yan?
Na pinakita mo sa ibang tao?
Yung una ko nabenta, Why Smoke at saka I Am Lost in Salas.
Ayun, na basa ko yung Lost in Salas. Pero
bakit yun eh? Pero
hindi naman, okay din.
Pero
hindi ko alam hindi ko natapos yun kasi yung unang issue lang yun.
Yung Why Smoke yung maganda si Jesus Christ yung bida. Tapos naninigarilyo siya kasama ng kaibigan ko sa Batangas. So tapos ko yung buong kwentong yun, pero hindi ko na-release yung third issue na susunogin na lang SM Batangas.
So going back to sa kumusta ang comics, ngayon ba balak mo bang ilabas yung third niya?
Hindi.
Hindi talaga din. Kasi si Mark Millar, meron siyang graphic novel, yung American Jesus. Yung original na American Jesus ay British. Savior ang title nun. Sa Savior Trident Comics no 1990s. Supposedly 10-part issue series siya. At tapos na hanggang 5 lang. Tapos tinanong siya, ilalabas mo ba yung 6 to 10? Sabi niya, hindi na. Kasi nagbago na rin daw ang perspective niya sa buhay. Kaya kinonvert na lang niya into something else. Yun yung American Jesus. John, as a creator, kumusta comics?
As a creator, katulad ng sabi ni Josel, locally, hindi pa rin siya ganun ka-viable as livelihood. That's locally. Pero since globally naman, Filipinos are known to be at par with anyone in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So, most of our local creators, yun yung masasabi nating industry talaga. They work for other publications outside the Philippines. But in local content, like Josel said, it's mostly passion projects ng creators. Wala ng industry machinery na nagpo-push forward nito. Like nang pinag-usapan namin ni Ma'am Eileen kanina, yung mga luma nating comics were at 600,000 yung print run. That's bi-weekly. 1.2 million every week ang napoproduce. That's just 2 titles. Multiple titles pa yun. So nawala yung ganung kalaking industry machinery natin. But still, we have creators here sa Pilipinas out of passion, out of their own pocket, out of their own time. Kasi nga, like I said, most of them work for publications outside ng Philippines that still create their own content. So, content-wise, intellectually-wise, creatively, yung ating mga creators, they still flex yung kanilang creative muscles to do their own work pa rin, which is, I find, very commendable sa with some of our artists here.
Mostly, yung labor still works.
Yeah, the labor
Pero
still
yung
works.
capital, yun yung in question. There was a time na yung comics industry is considered an indispensable industry. Anong sukatan kung paano nagiging indispensable ang industry? Kapag nagkaroon ng massive na strike at sinertify ng Secretary of Labor na indispensable ng industry. Pag sinertify niya yon, titigil yung strike. Hindi siya pwedeng matuloy. And this happened. There was a Supreme Court decision to this effect noong 1980s. So ganun siya ka-importante dati. Yung capital ay almost wala na yung sa print, pero Sir Bernie sa PenLab. Parang naisip ko lang na magandang i-segue dun yung PenLab kasi primarily siya ay digital yung niya, yung publication niya. Masasabi mo tungkol sa pangyayaring to?
In what sense?
Kumusta comics digital?
Yeah, I think yung comics digitally, it's still a struggle pa rin. So parang, let's say we started PenLab in like 2020. And parang change din kasi yung lifestyles ng people, right? From yung pandemic to now. So parang before, mas malakas mag-viral yung mga comics, even outside the strips. So yung mga narrative comics, we were able to, I guess, get a lot of traction for those stories. But then, naglusan yung pandemic and nag-iba din yung lifestyles ng mga tao. So, mas mahirap today actually to break through digitally than it is before. And there's also, of course, the economics of it. Yung digital, I think, we're not a digital country yet in terms of books and comics. It's really more for print. So parang yung ginawa din namin is we started right as an archive and eventually we moved into publishing. So yung mga digital comics, yung mga web comics before, yung parang naging thesis din is move them back to print as books, as graphic novels this time, and yung digital naging parang popularization of the comic. So for example, you you grow the comic, you're starting out, and you don't know yet if you can print it. So online is where you can start, and then eventually you collect, I guess, a graphic novel.
Anong basis mo para masabi na right na for print media yung digital content?
I think it depends kung ano yung kind of comics. Like, merong webtoons na comics, and meron yung print format naman na in-upload online, and then there's the web comics, yung mga strips. I think yun yung resurgence ng tawag dito yung web comics, right? With mga flashbacks, sina TK, like eventually turning them back to print. Yung webtoons, hindi sila masyado locally na-transform into print. We were able to do it, pero yung ginawa namin with it was that we had to relay out yung entire webtoon series to print, so medyo madugo din siya. And I think the good thing there is that even if something started out as a webtoon, ma-appreciate mo pa rin yung print format. Like, iba yung laro ng panels in print, and iba yung laro ng panels digitally. Iba yung experience, I guess, sa phone compared to reading now.
Merong original na for phone.
Yeah. I guess kasi
Kaya
with
yung panels niya, wala siya actually yung panel. Pag ginaganon na single panels lahat. Kasi hindi mo kailangan i-guide yung mata mong magbasa sa page dahil lahat papaganon lang.
And I guess pag phone, parang maraming distraction. So, for example, you're scrolling, tapos gusto mo rin mag-Facebook, or biglang may message. Tapos hindi mo matutuloy-tuloy yung story, right? Compared to sa book, di ba, browse mo through and through. Tapos kasi binili mo yung work, di ba? Then mas may investment ka na actually basahin yung work compared to, let's say, digital. Ayun yung struggles ng digital.
Profit. Kumusta yung profit ng PenLab? Hindi mo kailangan magsabi ng figures, man. Komportable ka ba doon sa ano? Komportable ka ba doon sa ano, ROI niya?
Okay. So profit ng PenLab, I guess, yun yung I think I can share naman na yung digital part of PenLab, kasi we started like a subscription service originally. Yun, hindi siya masyadong nagkaroon ng traction compared. And what we found out was that people actually wanted to buy the books instead of subscribing for example, the next episodes.
Mas marami pa rin ang gusto mong hawak nila yung binabasa. So yung profit, more or less okay. Ano?
More or less.
Nabanggit mo kanina, based sa reaction, anong ibig sabihin ng based sa reaction? Paano nire-record ang reaction?
Reaction in what sense?
May binanggit ka kaninang ganun eh.
Yung sa yung question, kanina per basis per
yung digital.
Yung nga pala, kung pag mag-print ka, di ba, kailangan may demand. Tapos yung demand is based on reaction. Paano mini-measure yung reaction?
I'm not sure exactly. It's more of like an observation, I guess, sa cons and compared to now yung readers online.
I mean, okay, kunyari, if like a work gets more comments versus isang work na madaming views lang pero walang comments, would you rather print yung madaming comments versus sa
kasi ba yung
madaming
engagement ng comments kaysa sa views lang?
Or yung comments, ayoko tong bilhin.
Pero lagi niyang binabasa.
Pero lagi kinukomment.
Lagi na binabasa.
I think may mga works that we publish na walang masyadong comments. So I think hindi siya parang basihan, more or less. Pwede yung views, but sometimes, actually medyo mahirap i-gauge actually.
The conversion rate is really hard.
It's a lot of, I guess, observations from different sides. Like, and sometimes like, maybe like, maganda lang tong comics na talaga. So, this deserves to be published.
Wala ka pang objective criteria for it. Kung baka papakiramdaman mo lang din.
And the views will help. Maybe sometimes the comments will help.
Parang na touch upon to ni Mel during the live stream nila ni Kevin. Meron siya mga nabanggit na mga creators. Banggitin na natin, si Toto, si TK, that's Tarantadong Kalbo, kung mga bamayan gatanong. And in parts in Ivory, si Honghang Flashback, si Drew. Observation ko kasi with that is, pati si Skate.
Si Skate, grabe.
Kasi meron silang regular releases, which translate into engagement, translates into traction, tapos nag-translate din into sales ng actual products nila. So, marami sa aming mga creators, very sporadic yung aming production. Kasi ginagawa lang namin whenever we feel like it. But dati, when we had that industry machinery, daily yung production ng comics, di ba? Weekly. So alam ng mga tao that it's gonna be produced at a certain time, and they can consume it at that certain time. And that produces habit doon sa nag-read. So malaking bagay din yun, meron kang regular output. Yung pahapyaw lang. Mafe-feel mo yun eh. Like if you've done comics for a long time, I've done comics for 20 years na. Pero pasundot-sundot lang ako. pag ano ka, di ba? Pag gumawa ka ng comics, tapos you stopped for 6 months, wala na may kilala sa'yo ulit.
yung parang sa nila, naalala ko, nag-umpisa yun is minsan isang panaginip na naman. Then saka siya naging tigma. Mga anong taon nag-umpisa yun?
2002.
The effort in creating the comics itself is epic, ano? Kasi, ang tagal eh.
Tagal na.
Napipicture mo ba sa isipan mo kung ano yung ending ng story or wala pa?
The ending kasi has always been written. Ang goal ko kasi when I did Digmaan was to create a story outline na pwedeng gamitin ng ibang writer, ibang creator. Kumbaga para siyang D&D type, Dungeons and Dragons type na may world akong ginawa, tapos you could do other stories. Of course, hindi siya nag-materialize kasi hindi ko pa siya natatapos.
Alala ko yan dahil si George R.R. Martin, hindi pa rin niya alam kung paano niya tatapusin yung ginawa niya. Although hindi yun yung first na story niya, yung Windhaven, ay tapos na yun, isang novel lang yun. Tapos ginawa niya to hanggang ngayon, hindi niya alam kung paano tatapusin. Choknat San. Siyempre kakausapin din. Anong mas trip mo? Digital o print?
Print.
Print pa rin talaga yung sa'yo. Bakit mo gusto print?
I started selling comics 2017 and yung risk ko doon is really out of nowhere. Like, nung nalaman ko na may Comic-Con, Indicate Comic-Con, sabi ko, try ko lang kung kaya ko magbenta, kung mabebenta siya. And yun lang, ano siya, yung siguro yung nabanggit ni Josel, di ba, nung nag-exhibit, ngayong nag-exhibitor ka na, may kaba, may panic. Yung sa akin kasi ngayon, andun pa rin yung excitement ko to sell my story, to tell these strangers na about saan yung comics ko, ganyan. So, starting from 2017, di naman siya nawala. I mean, of course, nagkaroon ng pandemic, tumigil din yung mga conventions. Pero nung bumalik, nandun pa rin yung, again, the excitement of selling a comic and telling a story in person. Something na, although I do get comments in my works online, iba pa rin yung in-person mo sila nakikita, yung mga bumabalik sa'yo na ito yung...
Nagpapapicture ba sa'yo?
Meron naman. Ay, umiiyak.
Umiiyak ka. Katulad ba ni Josel, nagkaroon ka rin ng overzealous fan, yung tipong ano...
hindi fan yung fan. Iba yung
fan sa'yo.
Malaki
Iba yun. I can attest na may mga ganun. Lalo na sa part ko kasi most of the people know that I know most of the people. So karaniwan, pag nakikita nila ako yung tatanungan nila kung nasaan yung ibang tao.
I-replace ko na lang yung question ko. Nagkaroon ka na ba ng kausap sa Comic-Con na sobrang inabala ka niya?
Hindi ko naman lahat nagkaroon ng experience kasi meron ding mga uma-attend. I think first time nila and they don't know how to parang approach this kind of convention. Kasi syempre hindi naman siya yung parang sobrang layo ng agwat niya. In a way, you still meet these people in a normal setting. So parang sa kanila, nakikipag-usap lang ako. Tanong ko lang po about saan yung work ko. Although hindi nila napapansin na hindi na ako nakakabenta kasi nagkukwentuhan na tayo. Pero it's not na, uy, alis ka na dyan. Pero yun lang.
Di mo naman pwedeng sabihin yun, di ba? Magpapakiramdaman kayo eh.
CR muna.
Kung pwedeng parang, ano yung mga taong pag pumasok sa tindahan, nagdadala ng mga, anong tawag doon? Pwede naman, may ganun
term. Yung ginaganon yung pera sa ano?
Hindi. May mga tao na pag pumasok sila,
susunod yung mga
whether bumili sila or hindi, nag-a-attract sila na
buenas.
Walang ganun sa comics. Pag may nandun, nakaharang lang siya sa table.
Hindi, sobra rin kasi limited yung space eh.
Tingin yung mga
actually, ang funny, pwede akong magsabi ng pangalan ng isang tao tapos yun yung kumausap sa lahat ng tao sa Comic-Con.
Jello, pag nagpupunta ka ng mga convention, naging katulad ka ba ng mga sinasabi nila?
Feel ko minsan. Pero malayo naman sa tingin.
I think
kami nakaharap.
Most of the time, subconscious yun. Hindi mo na alam na nakakaabala ka.
Especially if interested in
Yes. This is something that did not happen nung industry pa talaga ang comics, nung labor-intensive industry siya. Walang meet and greet noon. Makikilala mo lang si Hal Santiago kasi siya lang yung nag-iisang naglalagay ng picture niya dun sa kasama ng descriptive niya na best illustrator in the Philippines, tas may picture niya.
Kasama sa branding yun.
Oo, pero yung ibang tao, katulad ni Clem Rivera, kilala niyo ba si Clem Rivera? Yung pag nagdo-drawing siya, parang may steroids lagi yung Hindi ko alam may itsura ni Clem Rivera. Pero pag nakita ko yung roided na character, si Clem Rivera tumira nun. So, I guess yun yung irony niya, na dapat yung time na yun, meron din fandom. Pero yung fandom somehow existed after the comics industry is no longer an industry.
But importanteng personality ka ngayon, hindi pwedeng drawing.
Oo. As in, yung name mo mismo, not just your IP, yung name mo mismo is a brand.
Yung face, parang gano'n. Pag nakita mo kalbo, Kevin, parang gano'n.
Actually, kasi siya rin yung character dun sa comics niya.
I guess yun din yung reason why most of our elderly creators hindi masakyan yung sa mga bata. Kasi ang tingin nila, it's more of self-promotion. Ang hindi lang nila mag-gets is it's quite different nung time kasi nila and nung time ngayon.
Nung time nila, they view themselves as laborers, hindi artists. Pag tinawag na nilang artist yung sarili nila, meron silang side project na walang kinalaman sa comics. Siguro, papasok na sila ng painting. Sa kanila natawaging artist yung sarili nila. May self-denial sila dati na kung importante yung ginagawa nila. Sino pa ba yung makikilala mo sa mukha? Si Mars Ravilo.
Dati parang meron kami kinukuha comics creator for a archival project na i-republish yung breadth ng work mo. Tapos, naging siyang KG kasi
KG?
Like ayaw niya, parang noong una gusto, tapos nung tumagal ayaw na. Kasi gets ko naman, kailangan ng pera, money upfront, gets. Tapos ang ma-offer lang ng mga tao. Kasi kinukuha ko forward. Ang ma-offer lang nila ay magandang production, tapos yung malaking part ng kita, babalik sa kanya. Ganun. Pero hindi na, marami sa older creators, hindi nila mag-gets na paano ako kikita sa collection ng gawa ko. Ang lagi nilang sinasabi, kuha mo ko ng movie deal, yung gano'n. Kasi ganun yung sistema nila dati, di ba? Saka ka magiging big pag nagkasino.
Yes. Kasi ang barometer mo nun ay si Francis Cochin. 52 novels, 51 yung naging movie. Magtataka ano nangyari doon sa nag-iisang.
Ano kaya kapangit yung isa na yun?
Napakalaswa siguro talaga nun para hindi makasama. Subukan na naman siguro kung naka-51 ka ng pelikula, di ba? Anyway, si Carlo J. Caparas ay, ayun, marami din siyang naging movies. I think yung work nga niya ay dinesign niya para maging movie. Like yung Panday, for example, from the beginning, Panday was meant to be a movie kasi pinitch na niya kay FPJ yun even before it began. Iisa lang yung condition ni Panday, ni FPJ. Dapat siya yung gaganap, dapat may espada. Kasi ano daw dati, hindi siya fantasy nung una, straight na action. Si FPJ daw nag-introduce ng fantasy element. So one might say na tatlo ang tatay ni Panday. Si Steve Gunn, si Carlo J. Caparas, at si FPJ.
Actually, may argument pa dyan, nakasama si Mang Pablo pa.
Si Gomez, Pables Gomez.
Bakit?
Kasi siya yung writer na kausap ni FPJ.
Kasi scriptwriter din siya eh. Baka nagiinuman yung apat. Ano naman yun eh, nag-umpisa sa inuman yan.
Gusto na espada.
Kasi alam ko dati it's a western, yung Panday western.
Parang ano siya.
Bigyan mo ng best.
Wild West sa Pampanga.
So ang lumalabas niyan, yung pinaka-original na idea ni Carlo J. Caparas, si Jinggoy yung
pwede. Yung kay Chris Aquino. Yung shotgun. Naging espada pa rin. Jello, ano yung mga ini-exhibit mo pala? Kasi napag-usapan dito, yung meron kang kausap na yung work niya dati. Ano yung mga ini-exhibit mo?
Pero nag-start po kasi siya kay mga works po ni Sir David Ontiveros sa Sir Jan. Nag-start po collecting lang muna. Dahil late po akong sa local comics. So, nahirapan na po akong bumili. Inisa-isa ko pa po silang mga creators para lang makahanap ng Kaya, nung nag-try po kaming maging exhibitor, nagtanong po ako kung pwedeng ibenta ko yung mga works nila kasi ang hirap nga pong maano. Tapos yun, hanggang sa lumaki na po, nag-invite ng iba.
Sa pop culture naman, sa comics, most times, I think, after the comics industry originally died, yung IP, yung nagsusurvive, hindi yung medium. And then, nakikilala ng tao yung comics dahil lang doon sa IP. Pag nag-aaway ang mga bata dati, sinong mas malakas, natatapos ang away kay Superman. Kasi wala nang lalakas pa kay Superman eh. Pero yung mga batang nag-aaway na yun, they don't know na sa comics siya nag-umpisa. Naalala nila kay Christopher Reeves. Kasi ngayon, pag nag-aaway, ang pangtapos, si Goku.
Nandiyan na si One Punch Man.
Oo nga. Nagbago na yung panahon talaga. Pero even si Goku, hindi rin alam ng mga bata nag-aaway. Sa comic siya nag-umpisa. Kasi una nilang nakita siya sa Channel 9. Nung tagalize pa yung Dragon Ball Z. So, Josel, anong thoughts mo on yung comics sa pop culture?
Comics sa pop culture?
Oo.
Paano ba? Dinas ko ba? Like, mabilis magsiklab, tapos like, nung nagka-anime na Trese, nagalit yung rapper na si Calix, pangit lang. Tapos nagalit tayo. Pero, parang, yung collateral. Pag-comment pa ako dun, parang, importante to para sa amin, kasi gusto ko magka-Netflix deal, Calix. Wala pangit, gumano lang siya. Pero
kasi nagkaroon ng record deal siguro kaya.
Then, magaling yan.
Magaling ba?
Pero
ala ko yung Peter lang talaga.
No, pero gets ko naman kasi I think perpetually tayo lahat sa comics grading on a curve. Kasi nung nag-start yung at least yung generation namin, yung sa Jerry, yung mga Culture Crush Comics Convention, mga ganun. Laging ang bukang bibig comics is dead. Tapos merong chip on their shoulder, yung malaking artista ako sa generation namin. Kailangan buhayin yung medium, ganun-ganun. Tapos ngayon, in fairness naman, mas buhay siya sa daming librong lumalabas, ganun. Pero may sort of, at least from creator side, parang depressing na usap pag nag-uusap mga comics creators. Pinipigilan namin mag-usap about comics kasi laging hahantong yung usap. Ba't ba natin ito ginagawa? Kasi hindi nga bumabalik yung ROI, mahirap kumita ng pera. And hindi lang naman namin gusto kumita ng pera out of it. Pero, mayari.
It would be nice.
Siyempre,
It would be
kumbaga
nice.
sa kotse, hindi gagana yung kotse kung walang gasolina, di ba?
Ano naman, I've made a good career for myself out of lahat ng skills that I learned from comics, storyboard, ganun. May balik naman from that. Pero yun lang, I think yung always yung fear na parang will there come a day na titigil akong gumawa ng something na I love, or mapipigilan akong gumawa ng something I love kasi literally wala akong perang panggalaw. Ganon. And you can always say naman na ipapublish ko online. Pero ano ba yung hinahanap mong return on investment sa online? It's views at saka it's being seen ng audience. But if you don't get that, you also feel, anong pang point na pinapost ko to?
Parang disheartening kasi may nagbabasa ba? Parang ganun.
I mean, the fact nga I've been part of several projects to bring back something like si Darna, mga Ravelovers, movie side, yung comic side. Tapos laging napipigilan. Tapos hindi ko na-gets yung point kung ba't napipigilan kasi nandun na yung talent. Nandun na yung kayang kayang magsulat, ganito. Nandun na yung before. And always yung problem is we don't want to invest this amount of money. Even though, kung if you just started with comics, pitik lang yan sa tenga ng isang malaking movie, di ba? Pero they never want to pay properly. They always want to get yung short-term investment na malaking balik na napaka-unreasonable. Literally, patay nga ang comics, di ba? Kailangan meron kang time for culture building uli. Hindi nagbabasa ang mga tao in general ng periodicals, di ba? So, paano mo i-restart yun kung hindi investing back into making either periodicals or mga books, which is yun naman nangyayari ngayon, panay books, di ba? Ang problem sa books, nagiging siyang more on collecting at mas mahal siya. So, hindi mo...
totally different strata pa yun.
Hindi ka makakabili as a kid.
Community.
Which is, ewan ko na din. So, nakaka-depression.
It brings to mind yung Japanese comics industry na kung sa dinesign para maging accessible sa masa, yung comics. Ganito siya kakapal pero newsprint. Tapos hindi ka ini-encourage na itago siya. Kasi nire-recycle nila yung papel
and yung mas maliit lang kami siya, di ba, compared sa
yes, ganun lang.
Going back to dun sa question with pop culture, mas maganda yung system ni Japan with how they use yung cross-media nila.
Ginawa
with their comics.
Ginawa nilang business model.
Business model talaga.
Show them
kasi yan
Kasi di ba yung anime still drives people to buy the manga.
Yes.
It's very different from yung Western view na actually in Flashpoint lang yung nakita ko na nag-advertise na these are the books that you could buy na part nitong movie na to. As in, that's the first time I saw it.
Sometimes parang dinidistance pa nga nila
dinidistance nila dun sa source material.
Yes. Yung kay Japan, ini-integrate niya talaga na the comics is important too.
Pag nabitin ka dun sa anime, you have this long line of yung library ng content that you could go to.
Then, sasamahan pa siya ng light novels.
Light novels.
Yung light novels ay hindi separate universe. Nire-reference siya pag minsan nung comics. Tama. Excellent yung sa Japan. Sana ma-adapt din siya dito sa Pilipinas. Bernie, doon sa mga pinapublish ng Penlab, alin doon yung meron ng pop icon level na
I think mostly ang joke on Crosswise since nag-blow up siya sa Twitter nung start. And then, pinublish namin, I think, we had the first deal with Psycom before, and then we published it on our own this year. Was it this year? Yeah, this year. Yeah, mostly it's on joke on Crosswise. But yun yung sinusubukan namin gawin to grow the IPs over time. But that thing takes years.
So, tawag doon, may tawag sa term yun, kailangan makadevelop siya ng goodwill.
Yeah. And it's not just a one-time thing. Like, hindi siya like, for something to break through, right, for comics, hindi siya na isang title lang. It has to be like 10 titles or more. Breakthrough.
Hindi ko pa nababawas sa si Joang Crosswise. Yun ba ay graphic novel o series?
It started as a Twitter webcomic. It's a BL webcomic about a man na manananggal.
Patuloy pa rin yung kwento niya, kumbaga.
Patuloy pa rin somehow, but discontinue namin currently. And I think that's another topic though.
Okay.
Yung different types of how we approach IPs, I guess. Kasi meron yung, I think yung IP na personal story. And then yung may IP that becomes a serial.
Yung isang Japanese character na ginawang pinagkakakitaan na lang talaga ng creator. Kilala niyo ba yung si Golgo 13? Si Golgo 13, hindi natatapos yung kwento niya. Pero hindi rin siya regular na pinapublish. Kung kailan maisipan ni Saito na magpapublish siya. Hindi rin umiidad si Golgo 13. Is the same age. Kaya may cellphone o wala yung kwento, same age siya, ganun.
Parang si Con.
Relative ba siya ni Trace?
Pwede. Kasi baka Alexander 13 din, malay mo, magkakamag-anak pala silang lahat.
Yung pala yung sekreto para sumikat yung lagyan mo ng 13, ironically baliktad.
Kumbaga, ini-exercise mo yung malas na number.
Announce ko ng Windmills 13 next week.
Although sa business, makakita kayo ng mga hardware store, may 8 yung pangalan niya. Kasi, lucky number daw ang 8. So, makikita ka ng Dito's Hardware 88. Ayun, something like that. Anyway, sa art market naman tayo. Choknatsan, maliban doon sa comics mo, ano pa yung binebenta mong related sa comics mo?
Wala.
Talagang comics lang talaga. Hindi ka nagbabayad dun sa hindi ka willing na mag-produce ng sticker, trading cards, mga ganun.
Siguro yung closest na is sticker, but I wanted to still be related, kunyari, to the story, like kunyari, a funny panel, then, or a relatable panel, or may sinabi siyang funny, then I could do it as a sticker. Pero yung mass producing a separate from the comics. Wala talaga kasi pumasok talaga ako sa comics as a comic artist, and siguro kumbaga expand man into merch. Again, it's still related to comics, but not in a way na kaya kong mag-exhibit ng walang comics, yung purely sticker.
In aid of comics yung katatapos lang ng San Diego Comic Con. Then, tinitingin ako ng balita sa YouTube. Wala akong makitang balita tungkol sa comics. Pero San Diego Comic Con yun. Ang majority ng balita niya ay tungkol sa laruan. Na based sa IP na toys.
Nominate si Ignatz Award, isang Pilipino. Shit.
Buti na balitaan mo, men. Kasi tumitingin ako sa YouTube, puro laruan
So meron ding may nalabas na news na parang yung comics hall sa SDCC. I'm not sure kung tama yung news, na parang mas marami yung foot traffic because of the strikes.
They're celebrating that the comic creator got back yung SDCC because of yung strike.
Kasi walang bagong lumalabas na.
Kasi diba dati dominated siya ng Hollywood news. Pero ngayon mas maraming foot traffic with the comic book creator panels.
Ito pala na nominate si Richard Mercado sa Ignatz Award sa mga malaking Ignatz. Important siyang katumba siya ng Eisner for cartooning.
For what? Ano
Yung comic niyang should I come out to my parents?
Mga short comics.
The Twitter comics original
Twitter comics.
Ganun. I think something na dapat i-celebrate na. Kasi
For the longest time naman kasi San Diego has not been a vehicle for comics.
A vehicle for IP.
It's been for Hollywood and other merchandise. Though yun nga, natutuwa
Pull
sila.
out ang Marvel ngayon, ano?
Marvel.
Sabi nga kaya daw natuwa rin yung smaller creators dahil yung attention, hindi na kay Marvel.
It's back to the creators. Hindi nagpunta yung mga tao doon for the celebrity. Hindi sila nagpunta doon for...
Okay.
Tsaka touch upon yung question mo about merchandising. Kasi ma-pitfall siya sometimes with the creators. Kasi it's very enticing for creators na gumawa ng merchandise. So it's easier. It's very easier. So much easier than making a comic book. Alam natin lahat yan. So pwede kang gumawa ng stickers and sometimes yun lang yung mabibenta mo at an event. And kasi yun lang yung nabenta mo at that event, gagawa ka ulit ng bagong ganun for the next event. Kasi eventually, yung magba-backseat na yung paggawa mo ng comics at yun na lang yung pinofocus nyo.
Nangyari kay Todd McFarlane. Nung bumebenta na yung laruan niya, he did less and less comics.
Pero nagsusulat pa rin siya, no?
Yeah, nagsusulat pa rin siya. Pero si Todd kasi at the forefront ng image, he was always a businessman. So, nung nakuha niya yung tamang business model, kasi di ba he started with cards, and yung cards niya hindi bumibenta. But when he found out na yung mabenta yung toys niya, he focused on that.
Galing.
Sabi nga niya, nung aalis siya sa Marvel, nakikipagtalo siya kay Tom DeFalco, sabi niya, yung tatay ko nagtatrabaho sa isang watch company, sabi niya. Lagi siya may libreng watch company. Ba't kami lahat hindi mo kami bigyan ng watch company? So from the beginning, meron siyang business acumen.
Sinasabi niya, I can't get a t-shirt. Spider-Man.
Kasi yung black costume na ginawang t-shirt, hindi daw siya binigyan ng complimentary kopya.
T-shirt.
Chocolate San, t-shirt. Bebenta ka ba ng t-shirt? Halimbawa, di ba meron ka ng kwento na kahon? Gagawa ka ba ng t-shirt na kahon lang yun nandun, no?
Hindi, kasi pag gumagawa ko ng comics, tumitigil talaga siya sa comics. May mga lumalapit, nagsasabi, gawin mo tong sticker, gawin mo tong print. Pero, yun lang, yun nga, nakakahon lang ako dun sa...
One shot ang mga kwento mo, no?
Bakit hindi mo sundin? Ayaw mo ng pera? I mean, parang ang ganda nun eh. Kasi kung may lumalapit sa akin na, uy, gusto ko ng print ni Duterte dito sa booth mo. Di ba? Okay naman siya.
Na nasa kahon din.
Love na naman yun eh.
Pero, ewan ko, siguro, in a way, kasi di ba napag-uusapan natin yung return of investment, ganyan. I do comics on the side then like everyone else. I have another job. Tapos, parang in a way, gusto ko yung comics is separate from my monetary problems. Na gusto ko, since I have this job, this is the one that gives me money. Itong comics, purely out of passion. So although yes, naisip ko rin, maganda tong shirt, pero ayoko siya in a way ma-taint na kailangan business na siya. So pag nag-exhibit ako sa Comic-Con or Comic-Con, I'm just there to tell a stories, hopefully make you read it, and babalik ka ulit to, para sa
Bakit yung mga ganun tao? Yung... Sabihin ko yung sabi, gusto ko ng print nito. Dapat sabihin mo, tingnan mo to, 32 pages to, panay ni drawing to. Mas madaming drawing to kaysa sa isang print.
Bili ka dalawa, tapos lagay mo sa pag...
Print na.
Feeling ko kasi, ang maraming tao, ayaw magbasa lang. Ayaw lang mag-engage sa story.
Yung mga stories mo ay tapos lahat, no? May bala ka bang gumawa ng sweeping epic parang katulad ng Digmaan?
Meron akong sinusulat ngayon, pero rom-com siya.
Rom-com.
So,
Na medyo matagalan din.
Gano'n. Pero slice of life pa rin, ganyan.
NFT, meron ba sa inyong willing na mag-engage sa NFT? No.
Meron akong ginawang comics para sa NFT.
About NFT naman.
Hindi, para sa NFT.
Para sa NFT.
Binayaran lang $60 per pass. Tapos akala ko may darating pang pera. Bukod doon. Tapos ang nakakalungkot kasi believe na believe siya sa NFT. Dahil sa technology. So parang ang dami na sinasabi sa akin.
In essence, parang stockholding yung NFT. Sisikat yung image na yon, and then habang sikat yun, bibili ka. Tapos bago bumaba yung value niya, ibebenta mo. So wala, mahina ang NFT sa atin. It's a bad idea.
Ang daming bots na lahat nagko-comment sa Facebook page ko, I would love to buy your work as an NFT. Wow, okay.
Bili na lang sila ng pen.
Tama. Okay. Mayroon pa pala. Yung sa organizing pala. John, yung Comic-Con, meron pa bang mag-o-organize ka pa ba in the near future ng Comic-Con as in Comic-Con lang?
Yung tunay na Comic-Con. Wala kasi kaming venue as of now. Yung venue namin, which is Bayanihan, has informed us na magre-renovate sila. Kasi marami nagkatanong sa amin. So magre-renovate daw si Bayanihan before the pandemic. And di pa nila nasimulan. So, hindi namin alam kung kailan sila magre-renovate, hindi namin kailan. But we've been in talks with other venues. So, that's always been in the plan na babalik yung tunay na Comic-Con in a proper venue. Pero as of now, Robinsons has been helping us out. So most of our pocket events are held in Robinsons malls.
Bernie, yung PenLab ba, may balak siya mag-organize ng sarili niya?
Hindi ba kami sure?
Hindi ba?
It's really more kasi parang we have our hands full organizing yung creators mismo kasi most of our creators are full-time. So parang malaki yung parang struggle with that.
Time constraint.
Time constraint. But it's something we sometimes think about, but not by ourselves. Mostly in collaboration with other organizers.
Comic-Con siguro. Jello, ano yung unang con na pinuntahan mo na exhibitor pa rin?
Comic-Con po nung Ortigas last year.
Comic-Con last year. Ano yung best na napuntahan ng convention?
It's either pag Comic-Con and Comic-Con.
Ano naman sa dalawa?
Kasi parang same lang din, pero mas okay din Comic-Con. Kasi puro pumupunta talaga.
Oo naman, the best ang Comic-Con. May t-shirt pa nga ako ng Comic-Con, sikip na nga lang.
Pag sa Comic-Con kasi pupunta yung mga tao for the comics talaga. Pag Comic-Con kasi minsan nilalaktawan lang kami kasi puro sticker.
Diverse kasi yung ano niya. Nakakita tayo kung nagbebenta ng rubber stamp. Nagbebenta pa ng rubber stamp sa Comic-Con.
Kaya mas okay sa Comic-Con kasi
center talaga sa comics.
Gusto ng comics yung mga
John, ano yung may financial struggles ba sa pagbuo ng isang comics convention?
Ang pinakamalaking overhead ng isang convention would be sa venue talaga.
Sa venue.
And then making sure that you'd have attendees na masasatisfy yung exhibitors niyo. Kasi yun lang naman talaga yung goal ni Comic-Con na
sa tingin mo pinaka-successful na year ng Comic-Con?
2008, 2012.
2008 to 2012.
De, 2008 and 2012.
Okay, yun yung best na.
Yun yung best.
Bakit?
Well, 2012 was yung pinaka malapit to a San Diego Con. Summer, we had si Mark Millar. Mark Millar lang naman. Tapos si Ding Dong Dantes.
Kasi sa TikTok.
Si Lobby po. Tapos nung November namin, biglang si Kamikaze were nag-surprise na pwede kami tumugtog. Tapos yun, tumugtog sila. So, may mga ganong aspects. Same with 2008, we had yung week-long Comic-Con event sa UP. So nagkaroon kami ng talks with...
Ito yung sa bahay ng alumni pa.
Aside from yung main na Comic-Con sa bahay ng alumni, we had talks sa different colleges. Meron kami sa may AB, meron kami sa FA. Tapos kasabay din niya yung panel collective exhibit namin sa Vargas Museum. So yun yung parang para sa akin the best na all comics event talaga ng Comic-Con.
Choknat, bakit mahal mo ang comics?
Bakit softball question?
Softball yun.
Kala ko.
Hindi, tamo, nagulat ka. Softball siya pero may spike.
Ay, actually, mas na-realize ko siya nung itong last comics na ginawa ko. I was planning to release this one-shot, yung We Were Never Here, sa Comiket Iloilo. And unfortunately, I had to go through appendectomy 2 weeks before Comiket Iloilo. Tapos yung ano ko talaga is gusto ko mag-release kasi ang tagal ko na hindi nakapag-release ng bagong comics. So yun nga, pagka-release ko sa hospital, sabi ko, game, 5, at least 18 pages, tapusin natin bago. So I got discharged Wednesday, and then next Wednesday, lilipad na kami pa Iloilo. So kailangan may at least 4 days ako matapos and then na-prep. Tapos kasabay na nag-work ako sa day job ko. So I'm a video editor, graphic designer. So, habang ginagawa ko siya, kinakausap ko yung partner ko na, ba't mo ito ginagawa? I mean, pwede naman ako mag-ilo-ilo lang ng, bebenta lang ako, ganyan. So, nagpupuyat dito, tapos ini-stress ko na,
Mag-uubos ka na lang ng stock.
Yun, yung bakit di ko na naibenta yung dati kong stocks. Pero, habang ginagawa mo siya, yung, ano siya, unexplainable feeling na, pagkatas ko nito, may bago ako ikukwento, tapos may makakausap uli ako na I relate to your comic this much. Usually kasi yung mga ginagawa ko story is very close to me or I relate to it at some point. So knowing na this person who bought from me was able to relate at some point, andun yung fulfillment na I was able to tell the story in a way na nagkaroon kami ng connection ng reader. So, I guess nandun siya sa medyo, yun nga, napapatanong ka talaga, pwede ko na, may trabaho naman ako, pwede man ako kumita dito, ba't ko siya ginagawa? Pero I think it answers the question kasi ginagawa mo pa rin siya despite everything. So, ayun, ba't ko mahal comics? I think it's the only way for me to tell a story. Tapos, yun nga, seeing the reactions of people, parang cycle siya and then you're excited to write again.
It's a innate love for storytelling through the medium of comics. Pero na bang lumapit sa'yo na I've read your work and like I cried and whatever.
Meron yung live ko, umiyak sa harap niya.
Meron ba?
Yeah,
Meron.
Yun, nung Iloilo.
Sa Iloilo.
May girl.
Karamdam niya yung appendectomy.
Gusto kong bisahan.
Hindi, actually, hindi siya yung latest work. Pero yung In His Universe, which is a fantasy love story, nag-browse siya kasi bandang dulo na, which is yung climax ng story. Tapos nag-deteriorate siya. Tapos ako parang akala ko, ganito lang ba talaga yung mata niya? Talaga bang parang namamagalang? Tapos yun nga, tumalikod siya, tapos naiyak siya.
Wow.
Tapos parang sabi niya, I mean, it's very rare to find someone na fully makarelate dun sa story mo, diba? Na hindi lang for mere enjoyment. So, I think it cements more na I should write more stories, I should make more comics kasi may mga matatouch din talaga.
Kumbaga nung binili niya yung kopya niyo, nakuha mo yung
Binili ba?
Binili.
Actually, I assume na binili niya. Kasi bakit pwedeng binrowse
Hindi,
niya?
kasi may mga
Naluha
ganun
siya. Tapos binitawan niya. How much
Kasi
siya?
sinasabi ni Joseph, may mga nagbabrowse ng comics, babalik, babasahin, tapos kita mo nag-i-enjoy na siya, tapos ikot siya ulit.
Kinukompleto na yun. Unti-unti kinukompleto.
Favorite ko, ba't puta na, hindi ka na babalik. Ang galing nung yung kwento mo na pinili mo mag-comics after mo magkasakit.
Appendectomy.
Ganda ako ng pandemic. Inuna ko mag-comics kesa sa kumunang ayuda.
may ganung time pag meron kang gustong tapusin na story. Tapos kahit anong impediment nun, gagawin mo pa rin kahit meron kang 3 deadline na babayaran
Kasi
ka. Masisingit mo ba rin?
May overwhelming sense to...
May compulsion na matapos yun
Actually, parang pa rin siya yun nga, may mga nakausap akong comic artist na gusto nila uli yung ganong hunger na whatever it takes, kailangan magawa ko. So, if you're starting and ganun yung feeling mo, parang hold on to it as long as you can kasi iba yung fulfillment na pag natapos mo.
Tsaka pinag-usapan namin kanina, we were talking about one of Jocel's work, yung isa niyang pinaka-recent, yung Hiwaga.
May kopya ako.
Yung joy ng artist sa paggawa ng comics, kita mo dun sa work nila. So, like yung Hiwaga 1, kita mo talaga na gusto ni Joseph yung ginagawa niya.
Malungkot ako nun. Pero gusto ko yung escape ko yun sa pag-aalaga ng matandaan. Yun.
Okay.
Minsan therapy talaga. Like lumalabas yung urgency. And then yun yung usually hinahabol ko pag gumagawa ko ng work.
Parang na-touch upon din namin sa isang conversation namin with the Manix. May magic talaga with your art form. Yung sa visual art form mo na kung ano yung nararamdaman mo habang ginagawa mo siya, nararamdaman yung reader mo.
Yung Hiwaga is supposed to be 32 ba or 24 installments? Naalala mo, may sinulat tayong ganun.
Sabi ni Adam, 3 chapters siya. Like yung per chapter is 3 issues. The 50 pages, 48 pages yung isang issue. Tapos matatapos ako sa first part na 3 page na that's 9 overall. Tapos gusto niya maglagay ng 1 annual, which is like 80 pages each, pagkatapos ng isa. So, hindi na ako mag-aanak. Yun yung mangyayari.
Anong tawag doon? Kasi nga.
Speaking na din sa sinabi na kanina, yung pag may nagkagusto ng work mo, laging may magkakagusto ng work mo kahit ganong ka-niche. Kasi hindi ko ina-expect na may nagkagusto ng Hiwaga. Tapos sobrang ito nga yung target demographic ng Hiwaga. Kasi may kaibigan ako na lesbian, na UP, tibak, na hardcore. Tapos tuwan-tuwa siya sa Hiwaga. Tapos parang, kailangan ko maghanap ng ganitong niche na person.
Mga tipong times 1,000.
Sana dumami siya.
Like, hindi kami nag-uusap, pero biglang nag-message, gusto ko si Sina. So, what? Hindi ko nga alam ang pangalan ng character na yan
Naalala ko lang, si Bulbul lang naalala ko. Dahil distinctive yung pangalan.
Yung tatay ko sabi, Bulbul. Ano ba yung buhok? Yung ibon. Yung ibon.
So, yung sa'yo, hindi lang siya monetary ROI. May metaphysical ROI ka rin yun. Feeling na na-appreciate niya yung ginawa ko. Probably naintindihan din niya kasi lumuha siya
Pero just to it's also, I think it's good to recognize na it's a privilege to be able to make your comics without thinking about monetary return. So, kailangan din natin recognize na, kunyari ako, nagagawa ko, nasasabi ko to na okay lang sa akin na hindi ako kumita kasi may job ako. Pero there are comic artists na bukod sa passion, also, they wanted to be a business. They wanted to be the one na bibigay sa kanila ng pera. So, hindi mo talaga pwedeng sabihin na ito dapat yung road mo into making comics.
Josel, kung halimbawa, mangyari nga na maging ordinary na trabaho gumagawa ng comics, do you feel na magiging work a day man ka na dahil doon? Or mariretain mo pa rin yung dati? Kasi kung
genuinely naman, feeling ko working artist ako na comic artist din. Kasi madami akong corporate work. Like sa dami ng ginagawa ko, lumilitaw na para sa pang bibili. At dami kong ginawa na para sa Meralco, para sa oil company, para sa coal company. Ang daming ganang corporate work. Tapos, ina-applyan ko pa rin ng pagiging passionate about dun sa storytelling. Umabot na ako sa point na na-realize ko, kailangan ko to itigil kasi lagi ko yung tinatanong sa sarili ko is, kaya ko ba tong gawin? Tapos yun yung challenge ko sa sarili ko. Pero never ko tinanong yung sarili ko, gusto ko ba tong gawin? So parang, sabi ko, ang ganda naman itong ginawa mong comics para sa train law. Sino may pakialam dito ko sa comics ko sa train law?
Hinay ka ng DOF or ng
BIR? Madaming ganang situation. Doon ako gumagawa ng aking mercenary money, kumbaga. Parang ganun. Ang daming bullshit na projects talaga. So, ang dami kong ginagawa comics for the left na libre lang. Para pang balas ng konsensya ko.
Okay. John, may umiyak na ba sa work mo? Wala ka ba?
Si John.
Then, tawag doon, nagtrabaho ka earlier sa comics sa Culture Crush pa. Naalala ko na nasa Culture Crush ka eh. What would make you stop?
What do you mean?
Doing comics?
Parang wala eh. Kasi ang stupid ng decision na yun eh.
Okay.
Kasi when I worked for Culture Crush, I was working for an advertising company which pays good money. Tapos I jumped ship at the chance to do local comic books. Tapos I've never looked back ever since.
Ibig mo sabihin, nag-quit ka dun sa day job mo?
Yeah. So, kung doon pa lang, parang, point of no return.
Tama. Kasi high paying. It might pay.
It might pay. Well, it paid naman, pero it's not as good as yung
Naisip ko minsan yun dyan, na baka yung skill set mo ay mas mapaflourish sa isang corporate lot. Naisip ko minsan sa sarili ko, parang, ang sipag ko, tangina ko nasa ahensya ko, taas.
Di ba? Yung parang di ba? Lalo na if you see your contemporary nung time na yun. Tapos ano na sila ngayon? Di ba? Mga CD na sila.
Kasi hindi naman ganun kahirap yung work doon sa ahensya in the sense na alam mo yung gagawin mo para tumaas.
Tapos you know how to play it din yung politics ng office.
Jello, bakit mahal mo ang comics?
Nagdadalawang isip na sa mga narinig niya.
Hindi. Bali, ang pinaka-mahal ko talaga is yung pagbabasa. Since simula grade 3, parang binabasa ko ng mga mythology. Then, nag-start ako sa local. Siguro around college. Then, last year lang din ako nag-start sa local comics. So, ayun, bali, so far, ang magaganda siya. Saka, parang, alam mo, sulit naman na hindi yung mga patapon. And then, kasi mahilig din ako sa mga art. So, parang, ayun, may babasahin na ako. Then, may art pang kasama.
Rolled into one. Essentially, comics. Sequential storytelling. Bernie. Hindi ko ulitin yung tanong, men. Para place ko naman, para maganda yung dating. Hindi naman ikaw yung nagbuo ng PenLab. Hindi ikaw. Ikaw lang yung manager.
Actually,
Ako rin. Technically, but merong people who did the website and all the other stuff.
Why do it?
I don't know.
Iba yung tanong, diba?
I guess,
Tapos,
digest ko lang in a way na hindi masyadong trauma dumping. Ano ba? Yeah, I guess yung pinaka-start kasi is, I grew up sa Mindanao. So, I didn't experience yung comics. Actually, yung funny comics and yung mga stories before, right? Funny comics, may ganito, ganyan. Like, hindi ko nakita yun at all in Mindanao. So, yung pinakaunang nakita ko with comics specifically was actually pirated manga sites. So, medyo malayo kasi yung lugar.
Ano yung mga pirated material na yan?
One Piece.
One Piece.
So basically,
pirate.
yeah. So walang internet sa place namin. So maglalakad kami ng brother ko to computer shops para magbasa. So yun naisip ko, bakit walang Filipino stuff na ganito na more na accessible. And then when I got into comics, kasi paano ba? I guess I went from the movies kasi to comics. And I didn't like the community or industry there. Kasi parang, so I started out as an experimental filmmaker. So I liked experimenting things with the form and stuff like that. So parang ang pangit na I wanted to experiment, but it will go through like a committee of people before you actually get something made. And I went to comics and saw that, why is this different here?
It can be done by one guy.
Yeah, it can be done by one guy. And like, there's no committee who's going to say that ganito ka dapat mag-experiment, ganito ka dapat magsabi ng kwento. So those things. And then I learned yung parang struggles in this community. And I empathize with it. And yun yung naging goal ko is that, yun nga, I guess kasi I'm a collector by nature. So I collect manga, DVDs, and stuff like that. And then binenta ko yung entire collection ko to fund PenLab. So parang, in my head, yung goal ko is that mapapalitan yung collection na binenta ko back then with an entire library full of comics. That's one thing. So it's really a love for reading, that you want these books to get made, to get out there, and at the same time, sustainable yung paggawa, because you cannot sustain comics, you cannot make more books out there if, you know, walang funding for comics, if walang kita sa comics. So I guess that's why I still try to do it.
Kasi PenLab is cost efficient for the reader.
In a way, but yeah, we still charge for the books.
Ayun. Balak mo bang gumawa ng sarili mong comics?
Yeah, I actually do my own comics. I write Spirit Sprints and Katipunera Warrior. I also write a lot of other things. Ayun.
Yung pirated na comics, ang madalas i-pirate dati King of Fighters.
Yeah.
Saka yung mga yung kay Wing Shinma, yung may malaking espada, Blood Sword, ayun. Yung mga madalas i-pirate dati. Pag nagpunta ka rin ng Malaysia, meron silang comics, yung Huwara ang pangalan. Pinapirate din niya ang Man of Steel ni John Byrne.
Nabutan ko rin yung Tumblr, yung webcomic days, yung mag-post ka ng one page a day. So yung parang lagi kong binabasa nung bata ko na. There was a comic called Mega Tokyo by Fred Gallagher. It was just free na minsan mag-update yung creator and minsan hindi. And it was okay. It was a nice side thing to read.
Si Gilbert Monsanto, ginagawa niya dati yung digmaan, one day, one panel. Pero hindi niya yata natapos eh. Natapos ba doon? Hindi natapos.
Ano lang din kasi parang brain fart lang.
Trip lang. Saka katakot-takot na IP licensing yun eh.
Baka may nagsisynthesis.
Hindi yun. Ano ba si Kevin?
Kevin.
Kakape na. Gusto niyo ba magkape? Mukhang na-exhaust na natin yung nilista ni Kevin. May gusto ba kayong idagdag or whatever?
Ano yung last comics na nabasa niyo? Parang, wow, comics local. Kahit ano.
Kahit anong comic?
Pwede ko mag-start para
Mukhang na-exhaust
gusto ko
na.
yung Goodbye Eric ni One Punch Man ni Chainsaw guys.
Sorry, hindi ko nakita.
Like,
Hindi ako nakita.
nung binasa, first comic ko niya na nabasa. Tapos ang ganda nung pagkakatamad niya. Kasi economical na kung wari handheld camera. Na-fascinate ako kung paano niya ginawa yung pagkakwento. Na basically, repeating panels. Na usually, medyo no...
One Punch Man ba?
Hindi, si Chainsaw. Chainsaw guys. Tapos na-realize ko kasi malaki nga yung love niya sa film. Isa siyang, tinatry niyang gumawa ng film feeling dun sa storytelling niya. Pero very economical. At yung pagkakasulat parang sine talaga. Ang ganda lang, na sobrang natuwa. Tapos parang, yun yung lagi kong hinahanap pag nagbabasa ako ng comics is parang, wow, pwede pa pala itong gawin. Like, may makaka-surprise pa sa akin. Kasi sobrang fascinated ako sa storytelling mismo ng comics. Like, wala akong pakialam na usually sa kwento. Gusto ko yung pagkakwento. Na, kasi, pwede ka gawa ng comics ako sa mayonnaise, may interest ako kung maganda yung pagkakwento. Ayun yung last comic na nabasa ko. Parang, natuwa talaga. Si Kevin yung may kasalanan eh. Sabi niya, magugustuhan mo to. Parang tama siya. Kasi, sabi niya, kasi sobrang relatable yung themes.
May share ka ba, John, na latest reading?
Ang nagustuhan ko kasi sa comics is sobrang wide, different ng taste ng mga tao. So, you'd find comics na iba-iba talaga. You'd find something na more, yung kumbaga deeper, may or more technical nga, magaling magkwento, magaling ganyan. Or yung sobrang babaw pero na-entertain ka. So yun, mostly naman kasi I try to find kung ano yung magandang point sa anything that I read.
Choknuts, ano yung latest na nabasa mo na hindi mo naman kailangan maluha, pero nagandahan ka. Nag-iisip.
Actually, kasi pag nagbabasa ako, di ko alam kung ako lang yun, pero I get very attached to yung mga stories kahit na minsan naiiyak ako sa sobrang kilig. Like, parang binasa ko yung shoujo na In the Moonlit Dusk. So, tas may part doon na yung nag-aaminan lang sila. Tas yung parang naiiyak ka na ang ganda. Tas gusto mong, in a way, gusto mong ganun yung maramdaman ng readers mo pag nagbasa ka. And speaking of Chainsaw Man, yung Look Back, di ba, about siya sa artist na halos wala ring dialogue. Pero ang ganda kasi nag-reflect yung about sa yung pagiging artist, ganyan. So, yun, yung mga ganun lang na, I think, kunyari, pag nagbasa rin ako ng horror, napapaisip ako kung kaya ko rin gumawa ng ganito, yung ganito ka creepy. So, yun din, yung sabi ni John na you find something interesting sa lahat ng binabasa mo. And
Bernie.
Sa akin, hindi siya super recent, but Amulet ni Kazuo Kibuishi. Yeah. Kasi before binasa ko yung Amulet, sobrang super serious na mga sinusulat ko. And then, I realized pwede pala yung ganitong personal stuff na pambata. And then, parang after that, lahat na ng comics na binibili ko, puro middle grade graphic novel stuff for kids.
Refreshing din magbasa ng wala masyadong graphic na bagay.
Yeah.
1990s, di ba? Yung decade na yun, naging...
Shock. Puro shock.
Oo. Mas maraming namatay, mas maganda. Jello, ikaw?
Sa akin, ang recent na binabasa ko today is yung mga comics na compilations. So far, nakakatatlong pupong na ako. Tatlong. Tapos sa Bukid Baboy, 2. Yung Kiko Machine, isa pa lang.
Paano
Masyadong dense yung Kiko Machine.
Una yung pinakamadali. Tapos isang kuha. Tapos susunod Bukid Baboy. Kiko Machine, isa pa lang kasi Kiko Machine.
Sobrang dense na Kiko
Machine. Ang hirap kasi, natatagal lang sa Kiko Machine.
Kinakailangan mo ba magbasa muna ng sports section bago bumalik ka ng ilang steps? Kasi
Noon kang ESPN Sports Center.
kasi iba yun parang sinabi to ni Chris Ware pag binabasa mo daw yung comic strip compilations, like peanuts or gasoline ID. Baliw ka kapag binabasa mo siya isa upuan kasi it's meant to be daily.
Ang inaano ko na lang din kapag fina-find ko kung may mali eh. Kasi
Ini-edit na pag
inaano ko sa notepad ko, nilagay ko itong birkada ko, itong page na to, 2 na ulit. Yung terror proof, 2 beses din, may naulit na
Yun yung alam kong IT na nag-generate ng business as a fast food chain. Naging fast food chain si Fubong.
Kalagawan talaga si Fubong.
Hindi ko alam kung ba't niya naisip na magtayo ng restaurant.
Magkakaroon ng digmaan.
Digmaan Cafe. Pero anyway, ito na yung part ng Q&A. May gusto bang magtanong sa ating mga guest? Kahit ano naman, pwede na lang itanong. Anyone? Lex, anong tanong mo, Lex?
Paano yung pag-business na nag-doing? In essence, maging business yung pagkagawa ng comics.
Bernie. Kailangan naging negosyante ng comics. Comics mogul.
Yeah, I guess katulad ng sinabi ko na how do you get to sustain comics? Like, I want to see more comics. Tapos, ang hirap makagawa. Like, yung mga issue-1, di ba? Tapos wala nakasunod. So, yun talaga yung pinaka-drive, di ba? Gusto ko maging libro to. So, anong gagawin natin? Let's try to find ways how to get those books out.
Alam mo, pwedeng rin maging marketing na yung first issue mo ay issue number 2. So people would think, nasaan yung issue number 1? Sold out na. Or yung ginawa ng ex-president's combo, ang unang album nila is Greatest Hits.
Greatest Hits.
Pero yung una nilang album. May iba ba bang katanungan? Yes. Si Andrea. AI art daw.
Parang, I mean, kung tatanggalin mo naman yung aspect na mawawalan ng trabaho yung mga tao, gano'n, ang amazing kaya na eh. Parang nag-type ka, gusto ko na sandwich, tapos lumabas sandwich. Di ba parang magic naman? Okay, ako lang dito sa akin.
Depende siya actually.
Pero pag nakita mo yung sequence na of yung variation, doon nawawala ng whatever. Ganun, para nare-realize, okay, algorithm naman. Pero hindi siya nalalayo sa kung paano gumagawa ang actual artist, which is references at kibosing, ganun. Nasa exponential speed lang. So from yung perspective ko na pinag-uusapan ko, doon ako interested na pag-usapan siya na divorce doon sa problema na pang workers. With that said, madami na nag-usap tungkol para sa workers' rights, mga gatong bagay. So, naiintindihan ko naman yan. Wala sa akin yan. Like, yung isang araw, nakikinig ako ng Frank Sinatra AI covers. Tapos sabi ko na, si Richard Cheese na wala na ng trabaho dahil
siya dati. Anything na magiging lounge.
Merong interesting dun sa tech. Pero nothing na tech-wise ay divorced from economic situations, di ba? So, ayun. Pero after a while, nagiging boring yung itsura ng AI art kasi para lang siyang Google search na the averaging of everything. Ganon. Pero, yung isang interesting din sa AI art, is tatanungin natin yung sarili natin. Masyado na bang samey at homogeneous yung mga gawa natin? Kasi obviously, madaming nagre-recur na stylistic tics from so many artists. And I think it's because nag-digital tayo lahat. We are all sharing the same brushes, we're sharing the same programs, we're sharing the same mga websites seeking yung art at mga idols natin. Ganun. It's very interesting sa akin yung spin-spit out ng mga yan lang.
So, for a change, a positive opinion of AI?
Neutral.
Yeah, kasi AI art in the hands of creative people. Hindi mo naman siya gamitin na raw lang, di ba? You won't use it as is. Kasi as a creative people, nasa pride mo rin yun, hindi mo gagamitin to. You could use this as preferences. Di ba? Same lang din man ng process mo. That you use other images na you need preferences for.
Yun pala yung gusto kong itanong kanina na pwede siyang isikot sa AI art kailangan bang may aspect na naghihirap yung artist para ma-enjoy natin yung gawa nila? Kasi there is always this thing na hindi ka nag-draw na walang reference or nag-trace ka lang.
Kasi di ba merong ganong train of thought dati na pag gumagamit ka ng references, you're cheating din. Pero with Clip Studio, parang yung assets nun, is it cheating? Pinapadali mo yung...
The other day, someone told me na si Ilio Asano, he just draws on yung kanyang photographs na may isa lang siyang click na filter. Tapos ang ganda ng labas. Tapos kasi mga kausap ko, AJ Bernardo at saka si Aaron Dalzote. Tapos kami lahat, ang galing, ang brave niya, na gagawin niya lang yun. Kasi other artists would be like, hindi,
dapat
mahirapan ko sa isang oras kung gagawin to.
Swiping. Ganun, parang swiping.
No, not really swiping. Kasi...
Picture niya
picture niya yun He's the one who took it. He composed it. Tapos he just used the filter.
It's just yung braveness na this is enough. I don't have to prove my drawing skill. This looks good enough for me. It should look good enough for the Sometimes yun yung nahihirapan ako with myself kasi having to want
parang yung ownership ng art, di ba?
I didn't work hard for this.
Art ba talaga to? Inano ko lang to.
Oo. I think yun yung isang sakit sa comic artist is yung insecurity of needing nag-toil ako dito sa
ginawa ko to 2 weeks. 2 weeks
I-prove mo yun sa sarili mo.
Tapos yung kasabi ko, inano lang niya, parang in-extract line art lang niya.
I guess so from the perspective of a writer. Kasi my stories are too personal. Like, ayaw ko parang robot yung magdodrawing ng sinulat ko or something like that. So parang it's better to collaborate with an artist with their own personal experiences. So yung personal experiences mo, you synthesize with yung personal experiences ng artist mo and you make something new altogether. Parang sobrang hollow yung feeling to see yung personal story mo get made by
meron ng argument meron ng argument na feeling ko madami nagalit sa akin. So meron nilabas si Netflix na isang AI short, isang anime short na tungkol sa aso na robot, whatever. Tapos yung background, ginamit nila AI art. Tapos sinasabi nila, wala naglagay na artist sa pangalan yan. Pero meron nag-sketch out ng layout para i-fill in ng AI yung backgrounds. Ganon. Tapos ang ina-argue ko doon, well, what if isa kang small creator, wala kang pera para mag-commission ng background na maganda, pero you just have enough of an idea to create this and it's just 4 minutes and libre mo lang siya nilabas. Is that unethical na? Or are you just using some tools, ayan, nakagaling, no? Some tools, na argument. That's, hindi ba siya on a level of parang si Terry Gilliam, making yung stop motion animation siya, nag-clip art lang siya ng mga, galing sa mga encyclopedias. Hindi ba parang creative problem solving pa rin yun?
I guess it depends if you just use AI as like parang CG.
I think yung problem kasi, it's connected to corporations lahat.
Right,
it's not like someone made an AI program na siya lang. It's connected to Google, it's connected sa lahat ng Microsoft. And the marketing isn't, this is a tool for, say, like GT na privatized. It's a tool for everyone to fuck with everyone else na, hindi mo na kailangan mag-hire ng next door neighbor mo. And that's why nag-aaway-away tayo about this. Kasi no one will complain about yung technology nito if yung studio na gawa ng Spider-Verse ginamit ng tech nito. Sabi nila, ang ganda, gaganon lang sila.
I guess kasi walang like parang ethical structures dun sa AI. Like hindi siya parang subscription where
Hindi nga.
may consent yung yung
pinagkuhanan.
yeah.
And they just rolled it out to the public. Just
One might say na hindi talaga artificial intelligence yun kasi may human intervention pa rin. Kung wala ka instruction, wala siyang gagawin.
Hindi, ang problem kasi, hindi siya talaga AI. When they say it's AI art, it's not yung actual artificial intelligence kasi yung actual intelligence would have I was researching about AI recently. Yung problem is if you task a person with saying, get me the blue painting dito, you have context. Blue painting dito sa gallery na to. If you ask a computer, get me the blue painting, it will come up with two lists. Everything that is blue and everything that is not blue. And that will go into infinity. Yun yung difference ng thinking ng tao sa AI. It's making a infinite list and doon na sisira yung pag-iisip. So it's not actually having a context. It's not making actual decisions based on setting a smaller parameter.
Kasi yung AI, kung totoong AI, can even disagree with you. Magkakaroon kayo ng creative differences. Pero hindi nangyayari yun sa...
Pero it doesn't have to get to a point na matalino siya to ruin the world. Hindi naman talaga. It's just people relying on systems and saying, okay na to. Yan naman. It's just always what happens.
I suppose time will tell kung magiging normal ang paggamit ng AI, baka magiging fad lang siya. Although meron mga nakakabuo ng graphic novel na AI lang yung ginagamit.
Isang kabungan ng novels.
AI lang gamit. Meron pa bang ibang katanungan? Yes. Ano? Ayun. Anyone take that? Is AI art truly art?
Ano ba yung art?
Yan yung mahirap na tanong.
Pero ano yung art? Kung pinakayod ko ba yung manok ko, art ba yun? I mean, it's not made by people. And it's a visual algorithm na nagkibosh ng madaming bagay. Or isa siyang language algorithm na nagkibosh ng madaming bagay. It's just not yung traditional painted art na gumamit tayo ng commodities na meron, alam natin kung saan nanggaling yung mga bagay at meron scarcity idea. We can argue what is NFTs. There's no such thing as digital scarcity. There's just gated scarcity, di ba? So, are we saying na ang art ay isang scarcity na based na commodity? Ano ba talaga yung art in that sense, di ba? Binabayaran o hindi binabayaran? Ako, personally, I think yung thing sa AI art is isa siyang art na walang human context, walang human history, ganun, which is very upsetting for a lot of people, ganun. Pero then again, we will scroll through 100 images on Twitter na ginawa ng mga artists na may pinagdaanan and wala man na magla-like sa ni isa. And lahat naman nun, meron pa rin actual histories. So, where do our heart lies kapag gano'n sa mga bagay, gano'n. Like, nakatingin tayo sa madaming art dito, di ba? Bigyan niyo ang pangalan ng isang artist dito, tinignan niyo ba? O, di ba? So, lahat tayo mali.
Line with pantalon.
Mas pinakakinig yung mga short form medium short form scripts. Ang point ko lang is should we go dun sa trend na kung ano yung gusto ng masses or should we as creators change the attitude ng mga masses regards sa basta ng comics na hindi matangay one day ang comics or will be just wait for the right time.
I think I think one is you don't wait, you push back to the people that these things matter and this should be done and this should be seen. So parang I think it's kind of dishonest to just I guess pander to what people want.
Kami
And
as
then,
creator kasi first na sinasatisfy namin is kung ano yung gusto namin gawin. So, ang gusto namin gawin is long form. Hindi kami gagawa ng strips just to like for clout or maging sikat.
Gumawa ko ng strip, yung babasahin ko mamaya, ginawa ko para sumikat eh. Alam mo nila yun eh. Pero as I'm doing it,
napakaramdam mo.
kasi nagiging ka naman political, gago ko.
Babalik
So, pigilan ko rin.
So, yun nga, ang ano nun, yung depende na rin sa artist kung ano yung goal niya as a person, para doon sa story.
Yeah, and I think in the process of making like if you're trying to like if long form ka tapos sa tayo mag-strips, I think magkukwit ka dun sa strips, babalik ka sa long form
And
before
also,
finishing
hindi
it.
naman madali gumawa ng strips actually. It's a different discipline.
Tanda mo yung Windows, na ang gulo-gulo, na ang daming words, diba? Ginawa ko yun kasi sabi ko, gagawa na ako ng accessible na word. Tapos within 2 pages, well, I guess I'm not
accessible na word.
Wala akong magawa.
Jumping off dun sa sa mahirap din yung strips. Like mahirap siya in the sense na hindi rin instant success yun. Like, hindi siya sure, di ba?
It
Like,
looks deceptively simple.
But try to make one every day and you find out how difficult it is.
Tapos, ikaw rin yung magdidisappoint.
Kasi magsustain ka ng ng steam.
I think it's better, pero I do think the real value of doing strips, doing short, kasi everyone wants to do an epic at the beginning. Pero most people forget na kailangan ko matuto muna mag 1-2 punch. And then when you get comfortable with the 2 panels, 3 panels, you build. Like, that's how I approached it. Sobrang saya ko ng first Comic-Con ko. Kasi sa una ko, ang pangit lahat ng gawa ko, I shouldn't even be here. So, sobrang proud ako kasi alam kong this is just the start. Tapos ang saya-saya ko. Yung nami-miss ko yun. Ayun medyo mas competent ako. Parang ayoko nang gumawa.
Parang yung simula kasi everything is new.
Everything is new. I'm learning. I'm growing.
Tapos now, alam mo na yung kailangan gawin. And you work inside that system. Pero nga, if you're gonna do something for yourself first. Don't pander na looking for fame or looking for money kagad. Do something that you like.
Yeah, if you wanna try strips, I guess, parang it's more of like you just want to try it. Like walang expectations, like hindi mo in-expect na magva-viral ka.
Although there is something to be said about people who know how to pivot at some point. Like si Alan Moore, nagdo-draw siya ng strips dati. Like he had 1,000 pages.
Parang Mad Magazine yung style niya dati.
Yung Maxwell the Cat. And then underground comics, nagdo-draw talaga siya ng magagandang drawings. Tapos up at a point, economic thing na naman, kailangan niya kumita para sa family niya. Sabi niya, I'm gonna pivot into writing more kasi mas madami ako makuha work out of writing. And I think doon ako mas strength. They do say successful people know how to pivot at some point.
Pero ano yung feeling niya with the work that he did for yung money?
That exactly.
Mahirap na example si Word, ginawa niya lahat eh. Like even yung worst work niya na for money, maganda pa rin.
Maganda pa rin.
At yun yung lagi sinasabi ni Moore. Like, don't hate on your work. Just take yung last thing na ginawa mo. Look at the good and the bad. Kasi if you're just self-flagellating yourself all the time, you'll never learn, you'll never grow. So there's always something to be learned about stepping out.
So any other questions? Or sige.
unique comics for primarily for your satisfaction. And narinig ko din naging joke at times na pagay na ako. So, when we really see na you guys are passionate on your work. And I believe that yung mga audience data are also comic creators. So, can we really say na patay na ang comics considering na we are creating comics passionate? How can we really say na
Ano mo yun? Quantify mo muna yung statement na patay na ang comics. When we say patay na ang comics, it's usually what we say is the industry was before.
Ng labor industry pa siya.
Kasi if you,
comics has changed.
if you ask like mainstream media what comics is, usually ang ibabato pa rin sa'yo is yung Bangketa comics, which has been long dead. Most of us are modern comic book creators, and iba na yung format na ginagawa namin.
There's even a splitting off na between digital at saka
Yeah,
people who would make mini comics.
So, when we say patay na yung comics, and most of the older creators would agree with us because they don't consider what we do comics. Kasi para sa kanila, iba rin yung definition nila ng comics.
Yung sa kanila is yung weekly na 8 pages.
May para sa iyo dyan. Nasa isang selling convention, isang gallery. Tapos kasama si AJ Bernardo, binebenta niya yung PKP. Pinick up ng isang Gen Z type guy. Ganun. Pinick up niya. Tapos sabi niya, ano to, zine? Umabot sa point na some people know what a zine is more than a comic. Sobrang na-blow yung mind ko. And I don't think that person knows what a magazine is either. Like, he just knows what a zine is. Sobrang amazing.
Yun. Parang i-quantify mo muna kung ano yung statement na pag sinasabi namin, patay na yung comics.
Ang weird din kasi ng circles natin, and it could be like, there would be some people, ang daming binabasa ng Korean manhwa, tapos hindi naman sila super, like, mga lower economic part. Mabasa na kung anong Korean comic, gano'n, na ano. So, buhay yung medium. Although, ang isang malaking, ang hirap is, hindi necessarily ganun pa rin ka-widespread local print comics.
Local print.
In terms of distribution, everything is still comics.
And like everything is NCR centric.
That's a national bookstore.
Anyway, may iba naman tayo. Meron pa bang ibang gusto magtanong? Lyle, meron ka pa bang gusto itanong? Okay na? Anyone else?
Hi, Rob.
Ano pa po yung mga masasuggest nyo lesson or seminar na pwede nyo pong ibahagi sa mga aspired comic writers kagaya po ni Sir Randy Valente. Nagsiseminar siya kung paano yung dati abot po ng comic. And kayo po kung may suggested pa po kayong ibang mga seminar or lessons na pwede ituro para mag-preserve or promote.
To be honest, mag-pirate ka ng comics. Magbasa ka ng madami comics. Yun yung the best thing. I'm not even kidding. Huwag ka na magbasa ng lahat ng libreng comics online na read comics online at mga manga packs, ganun. Basahin mo. There's nothing more amazing than pero be mindful when you're reading something. And this, ganito siya nag-frame, ganito siya nagkwento, ganito siya nagsulat. And then you can try to go sa mga seminars. Ganon. Kasi most of the seminars will be, how do you draw a circle tapos may X sa gitna, tapos nasa yung mukha at mata. Ganon. Or, there's still something to, kasi that's how I started learning. Kasi nagbabasa akong comics and I was utterly fascinated to watch yun at saka sa Dark Knight, and then nagbasa ako ng Wasted ni Sir Jerry, and then opened up. It's participating first. Like, when filmmakers make films, they first started as film fans and they watched so many things and like, inintindi nila from like, pragmatic drawing standpoint or making standpoint.
Siguro you could start with Scott McCloud's books. yung Understanding, Making, saka yung Reinventing Comics. Those 3 books, maganda siyang read. And then if you want to have more perspective with yung local creators natin, Comic always has yung Comic University. So that's another thing. Iba pa rin kasi if somebody like takes you step by step kung paano nila ginagawa yung comic book nila. Pero that's not necessarily how you would do comics. So you could make your own process then. That's it. Sometimes we have our own then comic has its own workshops then. Just make sure na hindi naman siya talaga box na guidelines. Just take it as suggestions.
Drawing group.
Ayun, lalo kayo sa...
Mga Discord, join up with other creators. Like, there's nothing more invigorating than finding yung group of friends mo na you can complain to na wala naman nagbabasa ng
Join art groups. You learn actually more from your peers than yung actual workshop.
Any other questions? Yes, guys.
How do you get over creative burnout? Like, you try to draw that line.
Well, why did you get hurt? I mean, you can't go into specifics naman eh. Pero like, you should notice when you are productive. Make maps of that in your head na, okay, for me, I'm productive in the mornings right now. I have to get in a couple of pages within the first hour na nagising ako. And then eventually, it's being mindful, really, na when am I productive rather than when can't I force myself? Because you can't force yourself. Ganon. Pero just, eventually, you're gonna figure out the times of the day, or times of the week, or times of the month na gumagana ka. Or like, ako, I will not draw for weeks kasi I'm whatever, depressed or whatever. Tapos alam ko after nun, there will be an uptick na for a couple of weeks, dire-diretso lang mag-drawing. And I don't try to force myself other than that.
Meron pa bang ibang katanungan?
Ano pong opinion niyo po sa
Ando pala.
analyze na comic convention with more advantages? Yung parang venue ng mga comic convention.
Decentralized kasi iba-ibang venues?
Kasi nagawa din kami ng mga zine conventions na so BLX isa kami sa mga start. And then eventually just people started making zine conventions on their own. So personally, I like it. Kaya you're willing to lend out yung Comic-Con name for people?
Yeah, I mean, provincial shows are always welcome. Kasi shows that make greater is growing out of NCR. Gusto nga namin yun kasi sobrang
same place.
Nandito lang. We want to, when we visit other places, we want to visit the creator community na nandoon. Not just see yung familiar faces.
Para may bagong idea.
Like yung mga favorite convention ko is LBCon.
Cebu was not actually okay with Baguio before.
Sa amin sa Manila lang po, marami pa rin yung venue. Kung pasok, isang venue lang po.
Gusto mo centralize?
Yeah. I think mahirap yun, di ba? Kasi iba yung parang flow of traffic on other days.
It's so ridiculous no? Kasi the argument is, well, may mga tao nakatira sa South. May mga tao nakatira sa North. And yung mga taga-South,
ayaw pumunta sa North. Yung mga taga-North, ayaw pumunta sa South.
Kaya parang medyo unpredictable, di ba? Kasi like, I guess kasi it's a special event. Like, so if parang same place lang, then
Araneta Center tayo.
Yeah, like walang novelty to go.
Yung logistics nun would prevent some other people from participating.
Yung tanong ng mga comic fans is, do I love comics enough to mag-MRT ako?
Any other questions? Okay na tayo? Alright? Salamat.